Then indeed even the first covenant had ordinances of divine service in the earthly sanctuary. For a tabernacle was prepared, the first, in which was the lampstand, the table, and the showbread, which is called the holy place. And behind the second veil was a tabernacle which is called the holiest of all, having the golden censer and the ark of the covenant overlaid on all sides with gold, in which was a golden pot holding manna, Aaron's rod that budded, and the tablets of the covenant, and above it were the cherubim of glory, overshadowing the mercy seat. Of these things we cannot now speak in detail. Now these things having been thus prepared, the priests go always into the first tabernacle, performing the services, but into the second the high priest alone goes once a year, not without blood, which he offers for himself and for the errors of the people. The Holy Spirit indicating this, that the way into the holiest of all was not yet made manifest while the first tabernacle was still standing. It was a symbol for the present time, in which both gifts and sacrifices are offered which cannot make him who performed the service perfect in conscience, but only in meats and drinks, and divers washings, ordinances of the flesh, imposed until the time of Reformation. But Christ came as high priest of the good things to come, with the greater and more perfect tabernacle not made with hands, that is, not of this creation, not with the blood of goats and calves, but with his own blood he entered the most holy place once for all, having obtained eternal redemption. For if the blood of bulls and goats and the ashes of a heifer, sprinkling the unclean, sanctifies for the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of Christ, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to God, cleanse your conscience from dead works to serve the living God? And for this reason he is the mediator of a new covenant, that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions under the first covenant, those who are called may receive the promise of the eternal inheritance. For where there is a covenant, there must also be the death of the one who made it. For a covenant is valid over dead men, since it is never in force while the one who made it lives. Therefore not even the first covenant was dedicated without blood. For when Moses had spoken every commandment to all the people according to the law, he took the blood of calves and goats, with water, scarlet wool, and hyssop, and sprinkled both the book itself and all the people, saying, "This is the blood of the covenant which God commanded you." And likewise he sprinkled with blood both the tabernacle and all the vessels of the ministry. According to the law, almost all things are purified with blood, and without shedding of blood there is no remission. Therefore it was necessary that the copies of the things in the heavens should be purified with these, but the heavenly things themselves with better sacrifices than these. For Christ did not enter the holy places made with hands, which are copies of the true, but into heaven itself, now to appear in the presence of God for us. Not that he should offer himself often, as the high priest enters the most holy place every year with blood of another. For then he would have had to suffer often since the foundation of the world. But now once at the end of the ages he has appeared to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself. And as it is appointed for men to die once, but after this the judgment, so Christ was offered once to bear the sins of many. To those who eagerly wait for him he will appear a second time, apart from sin, for salvation.